Two choices in this world. You're either a victim or a fighter. You decide. But I know the one that ends up being successful, and we need to get some fight. And
Danny, I think you knew you were taking on a big job here, but I suppose maybe you saw just what it's going to be today. But were there some positives or negative?
well, I think we learned a lot, which we expected to. I think we found a football club that is hurting, a football team that is hurting, which is what we anticipated. We, it would be easy for me to criticise, but the players need my help. They don't need my criticism. And to be fair to the group, obviously this week we've been able to get some good work done, but we haven't had everybody in the building, which is always a challenge because we still had people on international duty up until yesterday. Yesterday was the first day that we were able to be together. But having said that, we've still been able to get some work into the whole group, and I think I think it's only fair for me to assess the areas that we've worked in during this week, because it would be unfair of me to work to assess the players in the other areas, because as you'll appreciate, in this shorter time you can't cover everything. And we've done lots of work without the ball this week. We were disappointed with both goals because we've worked hard on trying to stop crosses. We knew Fletcher would be a threat on the back post, and we worked hard with our sliding, our ball side 8 and our wide player in stopping crosses, and then ball side centre half, weak side centre half, weak side full back, and our six and the weak side 8 coming in and filling the frame, because that's what you have to do against Sheffield Wednesday. And we didn't quite do that in the first goal. I think just didn't get the delay on to stop the cross, so the help couldn't come. And then it was stood up, and you just can't leave Fletcher. You have to root Fletcher. You can't let him get a free jump, because if he does, he can be very dangerous. And the scoreboard affects the group at the moment. And I think it affects the fans and the club. That's just where it is. And what we have to do is get away from being so outcome orientated and get more process driven, and that's what we'll be working towards.
Danny, it probably hasn't been an identity, or at least a positive identity, at Huddersfield in terms of the team for a long time, in terms of the last year or so. Certainly not look back at the first season of Premier League when there was something positive there. How difficult is it to motivate players, to stop them looking back at a run that dates back 18 games without a win? How do you stop them looking at that?
Well, I think that the first thing for us to do is to get to understand the players as people. That's what we have to do. We've managed to have 20 minutes to half an hour meetings with every single player individually and all of the staff. And there's about 28 players here, so that you can imagine that's time consuming. But it has been to get to understand them, and I think what you have to try to do, you have to try to build a respect, gain their trust. Once they know you've got their best interests at heart, it's then that you can really start to affect them and influence them. And that obviously takes time, but we're in that process. We're learning about them all the time. We'll learn again off the back of today. And what we have to try to do, when I talk about the process, it's about trying to find a game plan that suits the profile of players that we have, that sets them up to be successful. And then it's about getting onto the training pitch, developing that understanding, trying to create an alignment so that the players are aligned in their thoughts. When you get to that point, you have to keep working, and then you have to get to a stage where it becomes autonomous and where the players are able to act without even thinking. And it's at that stage that they start to get a bit more confident and they start to get belief. I genuinely, not for 1 second, think that one win will change everything. I just don't believe in that. I believe in the process, and we're really excited about it. I have to say, I knew what I was getting into. It was the fact that I knew where the club was at and how big the challenge was that made me take the job, because I had a wonderful job at Lincoln, wonderful football club with wonderful people right through the club, all the way through to the supporters. I had unbelievable support from them, but I like living and I want to be excited when I wake up in the morning, and I want that feeling when your back's against the wall and you're in adversity. And I know that brings the best out in Nicky and I, and I know I know that we're good in that moment. And I know what this club needs. It needs some grit. We need to get some resilience, and we need some determination. And you have two choices in this world. You're either a victim or a fighter. You decide. But I know the one that ends up being successful, and we need to get some fight. And my biggest disappointment off the back of the second goal was that we stopped fighting. We just accepted it. And that's something we've got to work on.
You went 4-3-3 today. Was that because Pritchard obviously wasn't available? You don't have great running potential there.
No, you're right. I think we like to have two formations always, so the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-3-3. We can sometimes use the 4-3-3 depending on the opposition's formation, but our preferred option is the 4-2-3-1. And unfortunately, Alex hasn't been able to train since we've been at the club. He's a really talented footballer, and like you say, he's probably the only senior player that can play in that position. But that's no excuse, because this is what it is, and you have to work around that. So, and I know that excuses are for the weak, and I've never seen an excuse win you a football match. So for us, we worked on the 4-3-3. We just didn't play. We didn't get enough intensity and energy in our game. We like to press really aggressively. We like to play fast, attacking football. If you press with energy and an intensity, normally that carries into your possession. But we just played so slow. It was just too slow, and it was too easy for Sheffield Wednesday to get behind the ball and get organised. And once a team have got behind the ball and got defensive structure, it's always hard to break structure. It's much easier to play quicker and affect their structure when they're not set up, and that's what we have to work towards. But to be fair to the players, we've done a really limited amount on our build, because we just haven't had the players available all the time available. And while we've worked exceptionally hard this week, if I could have done all my work, covered it all this week, I could have gone home today and left it for someone else. It takes time, and that's just the reality.
Better in the first half than the second half, particularly in terms of that energy, that press. Fraser Campbell was like a man possessed at times. Yes. I mean, obviously you're going to wear out during games, but is fitness an issue?
It's the easiest one for a manager coming in to blame the fitness of the group, isn't it? And the previous manager. I just don't want to be that person. I couldn't control what's happened before, but I can control what's happening now. And I know that nobody but us control our destiny. And I know where mine's going. And I'm pretty determined about that. And I just need to get everybody focused, everybody thinking the same way. When we do that, then we will start to see some improvements. It won't be easy. The town of Huddersfield can feel sorry for itself today, but it won't help. We have to stay together, and I know what Huddersfield Town is. It's a working class area, and I know what working class people have. They have grit, and they have determination, and they have resilience, and they have fight, and they're the qualities that we need going forward, and they're the qualities that I know some of our players have had, but I also know they're hurting. Sometimes when you're hurting and you've been beaten up, it becomes hard to fight, and we've just got to help them a little bit, and we will try to, I live my life this way. I see the best in people. It's just how I work. My existence is much better. We can all see the worst in people. All of us have weaknesses, but for me, I like to see the best in people, and I'm going to try to bring the best out in the people of Huddersfield, and when we do that, we'll start to enjoy some success.
Carling out on the left today, is that something we can expect to see more of? He's obviously played centrally.
Well, for us, we wanted to try to get some some experienced players down the spine of our team. We knew that we'd given the group a lot of information and it had been a tough week. So we understood that that probably the experienced players are able to take that information on board better than some of the younger players. So we wanted an experienced spine. I think if you look at Carl and Grant's career to date, he was at Charlton. He had a loan spell at Crawley where they played in the 4-2-3-1 and he rolled in off the left and did that fantastically well. He then went back to Charlton and played on the left of a diamond. And when you play on a diamond, they play with outside forwards. And if you watched all of his work there, a lot of his best work was in that left channel. So we, all that work is what got him the move to Huddersfield. So we know he can do that role. And when we play the 4-3-3, you look at Liverpool when they play it. They play with Firmino as the invisible 9. He drops, and the two Salah and Mane are the stretchers and play centrally, play between the fullbacks and the centre halves. So it's we don't see him certainly don't see him as an 11. We like in a 4-3-3 we call them our 10s, our 2 10s, and that's how we decided to play without obviously having Alex Pritchard available to us.